Yeah, I guess just are there downsides to, these people utilizing these kind of quick solutions?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yes, absolutely. Because as you look at it as an investment now, it's somebody, you could just be purchasing a property and somebody said, oh, we just put a 20-year restoration on it and it's got 20 years to go. And you get up there and you find out, within 6 months that your roof is leaking all over the place. And really, yeah, it was a 20-year roof restoration, but it was put over 3 wet roofs that were falling apart. All right. So that's one example of a downside, is just taking someone's word for it. A system is not always a system. Another downside is obviously on the resale value. So, and if you are trying to sell a property and you haven't properly maintained your roof system and somebody comes in that knows what they're looking at during the purchase and sale, it can really interfere with your sale, with your closing of your sale. I've seen complete bids just go out the window and deals get dropped at the last minute because of the roofing. Called me in, try to find a compromise between the situation and so on and so forth. So taking shortcuts just doesn't pay when you look at your roof system as an asset. So we're going to get more into specifics on that, but definite downsides is the loss of value, the misconception of what the value actually is, just based on one opinion and not an accurate physical assessment.
Mm-hmm. So let's keep going on that. And can you share some insights on how a quality commercial roof can help save businesses in the long run?
Yeah, actually, that's why community associations and HOAs are very much in line with commercial operations as well, as in your forecasting and your plannings of reserves. If you are actively and regularly inspecting roof systems, particularly before and after storm seasons here in Florida, and anytime you're thinking about selling, anytime, you're making upgrades and additions to your properties, you should always be doing overall roof assessments and figuring out what timeline, what's going on. And just to assume, like on a community aspect where there's 45 buildings in one community, you can't assume that all those roofs that were built at a particular time are on the same timeline. Storms and weather patterns and everything affect buildings in different ways with different exposure. So if you are actively on top of that and you are forecasting and planning appropriately, then you're not special assessing your community, or you're not trying to dump an asset as an investor. Like, we're just trying to dump it before we have to put all this money in the roof. Or you're not the owner or user that's buying a facility that's been flipped 3 or 4 times already and had Band-Aids on Band-Aids and Band-Aids and told you have 10 years on your roof system. I'd be cautious to buy any building that said I only had 10 years left on my roof system, because no matter what, you're on the downside of that roof life. And what's the truth? So that if you know what you're dealing with, then you can have more accurate discussions about what the value of that asset is, and you can compromise during each transaction, and everybody can be a little bit happy. Compromise is a compromise. It is what it is. So, but it doesn't leave one. That's the whole purpose of this conversation, is with owner users, building owners being left holding the bill for years and years and years of prior mistakes and quick solutions, and just passing the buck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And kind of continuing on that, you touched on the aspect of maintaining a commercial roof. So how important is that maintenance, and what are some best practices for building owners to know about maintaining their roof?
First thing they need to know, whether residential or commercial, is every single warranty has some type of maintenance requirement. Just like your vehicle, you can't just buy a vehicle and say it's got, I got 20 years on my drivetrain and never changed the transmission fluid. On the engine, never changed the oil. Every roof is just the same. And why these continued transactions keep on going on paper warranties? I put down a mechanically attached 45 mil TPO in a high wind velocity zone versus a 60 mil fully adhered TPO. People think a TPO roof is a TPO roof. It's totally has to do with how it's applied, the durability of the product, which manufacturer it is, who installed it, and the details that they installed it. So there's so much that goes into it. So every single roof system, even if I have, like, we do metal panel retrofitting, we do a 2-inch mechanical standing seam. So where you have all these old exposed fastener R-panel commercial roof systems, we take it and lay it over with a 2-inch seamless roof. And as long as it's less than 60 feet, we can run it in one row from the ridge to the eave in one cut. So there's no horizontal seams. There's no penetrations in that entire roof. That is legitimately going to be like a 40-year roof. And people are judging their timelines on 20-year roofs, and they're not understanding the concepts. But still, if you have penetrations and I have a soil stack coming through that roof, I still have a 15 to 20-year boot stack vent that I'm using the flash stack pipe penetration in.